Hi, I'm Ahlaysiah Reed, and this is my top 10 sociological concepts. My first one is imprinting. It's a phenomenon seen in newborns or newly hatched animals who attach themselves to the first living creature they encounter, even if it is another species. For example, baby chicks following in their mother's footsteps. The next one is de-individuation, the sense that oneself has emerged with the group in terms of risk-taking. One feels that responsibility is borne not only by oneself, but also by the group. For example, in Mean Girls, Katie tries her best to fit in with this group at school, even eventually completely losing her sense of identity, becoming one of the many. And my next one is social stigma. It's the extreme disapproval of a person or group on a socially characteristic grounds that are perceived and serve to distinguish them. From other members of society, stigma may then be affixed to such a person by the greater society, which differs from the cultural norms. For example, at the beginning of the pandemic, many people had the stigma that every Chinese person carried the virus and was very racist towards them. The next one is racial profiling. The use of race alone as a criterion for deciding whether to stop and detain someone on suspicion of having committed a crime. Black men have been racially profiled due to the color of their skin by the police since the beginning of time. Anomie is the normalist and upheaval in social values often associated with rapid social change and lack of order. For example, if somebody lost their job and has no other option of getting money, they may turn to selling drugs for fast money because they feel hopeless. False consciousness. The class consciousness of subordinate classes who had internalized the view of the dominant class. For example, a broke person buying material things when they're sleeping on a mattress and on the floor. Eugenics, the practice or advocacy of improving the human species by selectively mating people with specific desirable hereditary traits. It aims to reduce human suffering by breeding out disease, disabilities, and so-called undesirable characteristics from the human population. For example, a doctor discouraging somebody to have kids because they have genetic defects. The next one is teacher expectancy effect. The effect of a teacher expectations on a student's actual performance. Teachers expect certain behaviors. For example, if a white teacher expects Black students to perform below average on tests, over time, the teacher may act in ways that encourage Black students to get lower scores. Gemeinschaft, translated as community, refers to individuals bond together by common norms, often because of shared physical space and shared beliefs. For example, the Amish community. Conspicuous consumption, the purchase of goods or services for the specific purpose of displaying one's wealth. Conspicuous consumption is a means to show one's social status, especially when the goods and services publicly displayed are too expensive for other members of a person's class. For example, someone using their rent money for a Gucci belt.